we will do one easy, one difficult theory. हर दिन हम difficult theories नहीं करेंगे, otherwise it will become. How many of you are actually going to for Diwali break अक्टूबर में? आप तो ये तो आप तो जाओगे. And Diwali break how for how many days? 1 week. अच्छा, you will attend ना, मतलब ऐसे कुछ गैप तो नहीं होगा ना? ठीक है. And Tanishka, you will also attend online? ठीक है. Okay. The first theory that we are going to do is Weber. See, we have done certain number of theories. कौन से theories हमने कर लिया है? Can you just tell me the syllabus? Welcome, Dhruv. Rahul is also taking online today. Very good, Rahul. Huh? Malthusian, very good. Yes. Demographic transition we have done. Okay. Next. See, I'm telling you theories which we have already done. Transition. What next we have done? That's it. उसमें सिर्फ उतना ही है. The one we have done. There must be one more. Just check in the syllabus. Marxian. Marx also we have done, no? Actually, you have said that. Okay, maybe I'm not sure. Right? Marx also we have done. So we have done 3 basically. Okay. Marx आए या फिर socialism आए, so just focus के दोनों में आप you should not get confused. ठीक है? So Malthusian, demographic transition and Marxian that we have already done. We don't need to do it again because हमने बहुत time लेके we have completed that part. But now we have to do what? Weber theory of industrial location. So they were different geographers who have given different theories. Good afternoon, Rahul. Good afternoon. There were different theory people who have given the different theories. Okay, the first one is Weber. Okay, try to understand in a very detailed manner, right? So that you should not forget. ठीक है, लास्ट पार्ट है सिलेबस का, मतलब पॉपुलेशन थ्योरी का, ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी का. ओके, so next is Weber's theory of industrial location. Alfred Weber, this was his full name, a German economist. You don't write abhi, I'll make you write. ठीक है, just try to understand first. He was Alfred Weber and he was a German. So what he focused on the location. So उनके लिए लोकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था कि लोकेशन से ही सब कुछ हो रहा है. And he wanted to study, basically what he studied, geographical space. उन्होंने geographical space पे बहुत ध्यान दिया कि geographical space क्यों ऐसा होता है कि एक एरिया बहुत ज्यादा डेवलप्ड होता है वर्सेस एक एरिया डेवलप नहीं होता है. For example, if I say this is really developed, this is highly developed, versus why B is not that developed. Although I'm trying to make and want to shift this effect of A to B, then also A is ruling, right? A is proliferating. So he was studying this. For example, in one of the situation, he has said that, for example, A is having a lot of centralized system. Example, your banking systems. So what will happen? Or you have a great institutions there. So what will happen? This will proliferate more, right? Why? Because you have the faith also in such systems. क्योंकि एक ही जगह सब कुछ है तो क्या होगा? एक्सेसिबिलिटी चाहिए आपको. एक्सेसिबिलिटी चाहिए तो क्या होगा? You will try to be there around that place. For example, यहाँ पे इंडस्ट्रीज हैं. You want to be part of that ecosystem. You want to stay here. एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल ले लीजिए, आप अपना ही एग्जाम्पल ले लीजिए. इफ यू आर डूइंग द प्रिपरेशन, व्हाई यू वांट टू बी इन करोल बाग, व्हाई यू वांट टू बी हियर. बहुत ही छोटा एग्जाम्पल है, ठीक है. लेकिन आप यू वांट कि आप यहाँ पे आके तैयारी करें बिकॉज ऑफ द रिसोर्सेस. सही बात, रिसोर्सेस ऐसा नहीं है आज के टाइम में दे कैन नॉट रीच योर प्लेसेस. इट इज मोर ऑफ एक्सेस, मोर ऑफ एक्सेसिबिलिटी एंड मोर ऑफ बीइंग in tune with the system. In tuning in the system means, see, when you're meeting the people, even if you're not meeting, you're watching. Observation. अगर आप बात भी नहीं कर रहे हो किसी से, you don't have much friends and also you're observing, अच्छा, this person is doing this. Okay, this series, test series is coming, I have to join this. Okay, this person, for example, this person is doing that. So with the roommates also you are staying, they are also giving you some bits and pieces of information. और फिर वो information आप क्या करते हो, आप डिसाइड करते हो whether I have to work on it or you don't have. That is your choice at the end of the day. But at least you will have certain kind of information. जो थर्ड होता है वो होता है आपका a healthy competition, right? A competitive world where you also do not know that you are competing with some other person who is there next to you, right? Even if you do not know any person. For example, if the aspirants के जो वो videos आते हैं, then they tell you the schedule, this is what I used to do, this is what, then you start competing. That do I also use the same strategy, or am I lacking somewhere else? Am I doing the same thing, right? You do not say I don't want to listen to her, I don't want to change my strategy. Sometimes you do not want to, because you know everybody's strategy is customized, it is according to them, their habits, but still you want to take in some of the key inputs, right? So jab you are in the ecosystem, then you understand the facts. So kuch cheeze you cannot de-alienate from the place. ठीक है, कल मैंने मुंबई की बात करी थी. आई टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस एज अ फाइनेंशियल कैपिटल, राइट? आई टॉक्ड अबाउट गुड़गांव and I talked about the startup ecosystem here. Or maybe near to Delhi, right? So it is possible that people can live in Delhi and the core areas of the Delhi, but why people want to stay here despite of different problems, different challenges that they are facing because of the road obstruction, etc., traffic, and Bangalore also you can consider as one of the point. But why they are the attractive, like people are attracted to these places? Why? जब तक सस्टेनेबल है, सस्टेनेबल मतलब जब तक आपकी बेसिक एमिनिटीज पूरी हो रही हैं, पीपल विल कीप ऑन गोइंग देयर. अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, डेफिनेटली दैट इज वन ऑफ द थिंग. बहुत ज्यादा आपका कैपिटल है, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द थिंग. द वन विच इज वेरी इंटेंजिबल थिंग इज मेंटेनिंग अ इकोसिस्टम, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. सो वेबर ने क्या कहा, वेबर ने बोला कि वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन द लोकेशन. जोग्राफिकल स्पेस भी हमें देखना होगा कि लोकेशन कैसे डिफर करता है, क्या वो चेंज हो सकता है. वी ऑल्सो आस्क्ड क्या क्या हम क्या चेंज कर सकते हैं लोकेशन फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर, क्या इतना आसान है? दैट वी विल फिगर इट आउट नाउ. बट बिफोर दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड राइट अबाउट Alfred Weber. Yes, ma'am, I am not well. That's why I'm not coming. I'll be okay. No problem, Rahul. Take care of yourself, huh? Write down Alfred Weber, comma, a German economist. Alfred Weber, a German economist. He was a German economist. Was the first who gave scientific exposition. He was the first to give scientific exposition. Scientific exposition to the theory of location. To the theory of location. And thus filled a and filled a thus filled a theoretical gap created by theoretical gap created by classical economist. Classical economist. Can you tell me who were the classical economists? What do you mean by classical economist? Yes, new. But what was their ideology? What they believed in? They believed in natural forces of market. That means the country can or the market can run on their own better without intervention of government. Adam Smith was one of the proponent of it, who has written Wealth of Nations, and he also talked about invisible forces of market. What is this invisible forces? This is more based on the capitalist form of society only, जहाँ पे there are invisible market forces present and the market should be run on their own. Supply demand खुद ही अपना market set कर लेंगे, खुद ही अपना prices set कर लेंगे. You don't need to intervene in between. The government should only be for security. Right. Next. He propounded his famous industrial location theory. He propounded he propounded he propounded his famous industrial location theory. क्या है famous industrial location theory? What is this? In 1909, in 1909, right? Which was published in German language book entitled Uber den Standard. This is what I am writing in Germany for the first time. Standard der Industrien. This is in Germany what he wrote. Okay. I'll translate the meaning of this statement also. In English it means the theory of the location of the theory of the location of the theory of the location of industries. The theory of the location of industries. In 1929. In 1929. Comma. The work on industrial location is highly criticized. The work on industrial location is highly criticized and also highly commended. commended, 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 full stop. His theory, which is also known as pure theory, his theory also known as pure theory and least cost theory, has the solution for least cost theory has a solution, analytical approach or solution to the problem. Least pure theory, pure theory is not written. यहाँ पे देख लीजिए. It is pure theory, or you can write least cost theory has a analytical solution to the previous theory. ठीक है. अब प्रॉब्लम्स क्या थे, किस चीज को क्रिटिसाइज किया गया, किसको प्रॉब्लम्स बोल रहे हैं वो लोग, what they are calling as problems. Weber was faced with many serious one, full stop. सबसे बड़ा उनका क्वेश्चन था why industries, write down the biggest question of him was why did Weber was faced with many of such criticisms, full stop. His biggest question was why did industry move from why did industry move from one place to another? And why did industry move from one place to another? And what factors determine the movement? And what factors determine the movement? Full stop. According to Weber, factors affecting location of theories. According to him, factors affecting location of theory. What are the factors which are responsible for it? Right on the first one, primary factors or regional factors. Primary factors. The first one is your primary factors. What these primary factors include? Regional distribution of industries. Regional distribution of industries. Second, the agglomerative and de-agglomerative factors. Agglomerative and de-agglomerative factors. What is this agglomerative and de-agglomerative factors? These are your secondary factors. Can you tell me the literal meaning of agglomeration? That means getting together, consolidated form में एक ही form में आपका इकट्ठा हो जाना. That is called agglomeration. उसका opposite de-agglomeration. ठीक है. Secondary causes responsible for redistribution of industry. ठीक है. Secondary causes responsible for secondary causes को ऐसे लिखेंगे. Secondary causes responsible for redistribution. पहले primary causes पे focus, फिर secondary causes पे focus. Why the industries are moving? We'll focus on the redistribution of industries. ठीक है. So shall we talk about first regional factors? That is the core thing, right? Write down the heading regional factors. So first we'll discuss about what are the regional factors which are present on which he wants to focus on. The first regional factors is definitely the transportation. right? Can I say? So write down, don't write transportation immediately, wait. Write first intro of this, okay? What if they ask in a Weber theory, ऐसे भी question आ सकता है ना, see, why I am focusing on each and every part? Because it is not necessary directly they ask the Weber. See, the question can come in this format. According to Weber, what were the regional factors which determine the distribution of industry? और अगर ये क्वेश्चन आ गया, दैट मीन्स आपको किस पे फोकस करना है? यू हैव टू फोकस नॉट द होल थ्योरी, थ्योरी आप लिख सकते हैं नटशेल में, बट दिस इज आवर मेन एक्टर. आई ऑलवेज से ऑलवेज ट्राई टू सर्च मेन एक्टर कि सब मेन चीज क्या है जिसके बारे में पूछा जा रहा है. इवन डिस्पाइट राइटिंग अबाउट होल वेबर थ्योरी यू विल नॉट गेट दैट मच ऑफ मार्क्स, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन का डिमांड ही ये नहीं था. क्वेश्चन का डिमांड था रीजनल फैक्टर्स पे फोकस करना, वेबर थ्योरी एक्सप्लेन करना है शॉर्ट में, लेकिन ज्यादा किसको इंपॉर्टेंस देनी है? रीजनल फैक्टर को. अगर वेबर को ज्यादा दे दिया तो मार्क्स उतने नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है, गेटिंग द पॉइंट? दैट्स व्हाई आई से ऑलवेज रीड द क्वेश्चन in detail. Now write down, after examining the cost structure of different industries, after examining the cost structure of different industries, cost structure of different industries, comma, Weber concluded that cost of production varies from places to places. Cost of production varies from places to places. Therefore, industry in general is localized at a place or in a region. Therefore, the industry is localized at a place or in a region where the cost of production was the minimum. Where the cost of production was the minimum. Write down. According to Weber, there are two regional factors. First is transportation cost. First is your transportation cost, and second is labor cost. First is transportation cost and first is labor cost. Now we will describe about the transportation cost in detail. Write down transportation cost heading, sub point A. Write A like this, 1 like this in a numerical manner. Transportation cost. Transportation cost play an important part. It plays an important part in the location of the industries. It plays an important part in the location of the industry. And why it plays an important part in the location of industry? First off, if transportation costs are favorable, wait. Transportation costs are influenced by, write down, continuation में, transportation costs are influenced by weight to be transported and distance to be covered. Weight to be transported and distance to be covered full stop. Generally industries will tend to localize. Generally industries will tend to localize. Industry will tend to localize at a place where material and fuel material and fuel are not difficult to obtain. Can you tell me one of the industries in the world where this is happening? Can I talk about South America? Right? This whole area, right? This is your, yes, mining. Your Chile, Peru, Argentina, Bolivia. Especially I'm talking about the coast. This is your Atacama Desert, right? And Atacama Desert is extremely good for mining, fishing industries, and also for fertilizers, right? But so by natural fact, because this is present here, there would be industry present in this area near to the location where it is happening. अब आप ये expect नहीं कर सकते कि fishes आकर that warehouse should be very very far away from this. You will have the hub of everything present here only. Similarly for the fertilizers, right? Fertilizers भी यहीं पे industries would be set up for the make manufacturing of it. Similarly for mining, gold mines, etc. Mining is very very crucial in this, and also not only of this, there is a mining of very important minerals, lithium and other rare earth minerals. तो क्या आप एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि ये बहुत दूर हो? Will you expect कि this should be very very far away from the place from where it is originating? Definitely no, क्योंकि जितना आपको कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन में क्या ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ऐड नहीं होता? बिल्कुल होता है. जब कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन में you have a very big factor to play, which is your ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट. और अगर मैंने ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट को बैलेंस नहीं किया, so will I be in a profitable business? I have to think, right? So we have to make such arrangement that it should be less. ठीक है? One of the example you can see more industries. For example, there is Ruhr in Germany. Huh? Iron ore mining. Yes. You have to take such examples. वर्ल्ड के हिसाब से you have to see and you have to study the location. क्या लोकेशन बहुत दूर है इंडस्ट्री का? कोई भी आप इंडस्ट्री उठा के देख लीजिए. इन इंडिया इफ आई टेक झारखंड, ओडिशा, you have Jindal and Steels. Jindal Steel is where? Jindal and Steel is here only. क्यों जिंदल का प्रोडक्शन जो हाउस है वो यहाँ पे या कहीं दिल्ली या मुंबई में नहीं चला जाता? Why it has not transported? यहाँ पर क्यों है ये? Why it is there only? Availability of the resources. Why they have to transport in such a far away place? So that's why you have to take care of all these factors. Now, write down. कहाँ तक लिखा आपने? हाँ, write down. Weber has further given that. हाँ, transportation. अभी हम लेबर पे नहीं आए. Weber has also given that. Weber has further given that basic factors for location of an industry. Basic factors of location of an industry are the nature and the type of material, are also the nature and type of material used, type of material used, and nature of their transformation. ये भी तो important रहता है, nature of their transformation into products. अब आप ये बताइए कि वेबर ने टाइप की क्यों बात करी? Why he talked about type? क्या ये जो एप्लीकेशन है सारे प्रोडक्ट्स पे does it apply? This application that they talked about only certain types of material. Type of product भी मैटर करता है कि आप प्रोडक्ट क्या ले रहे हैं. क्या ये सारे सब पे अप्लाई होगा? सारे प्रोडक्ट्स पे अप्लाई होगा? मतलब कुछ ऐसे रॉ मटेरियल्स की बात करी है उन्होंने जो जहाँ पे वो रॉ मटेरियल्स वहीं मिलते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट सम अदर रॉ मटेरियल्स, a lighter weight you can take, for example your papers etc, cotton, ठीक है. so उनका इतना ज्यादा रोल नहीं है, पर कोल एक्सेट्रा इज समथिंग वेरी बिग, आपको पूरा सेटअप करना पड़ता है. माइनिंग इज वेरी बिग, ठीक है. so that is why the types of material has to be also considered, ठीक है. next is your labor cost. labor also affects the location of industries. Labor cost, location, labor also affects the location of industry. Next point, if transportation costs are favorable but labor costs are unfavorable. Full stop. If transportation costs are favorable but labor costs are unfavorable, comma, the problem of location becomes difficult to have. Problems of location becomes difficult to have a ready-made solution. तो क्या करना पड़ेगा अल्टीमेटली? अगर इस जगह पे फॉर एग्जाम्पल वन डे आई एम नॉट गेटिंग द लेबर, so I have to go to a place where I can find the cheap labor, क्योंकि लेबर के बिना nothing is going to happen, because you need a manpower, you need a manpower of maybe 100 people. so what you will do, आप एक को मैनेज कर सकते हैं, दो को, तीन को, how many people you will manage for every day. so you have to ultimately go to a place where you have the labor. दोनों ही कॉस्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, दोनों फैक्टर्स. Yes, Rahul. Ma'am, please repeat this point. Okay. Which point? Labor's first one. Okay. Labor costs also affect the location of industries. If transportation costs are favorable, but labor costs are unfavorable. If transportation costs are favorable, labor costs are unfavorable, comma, the problem of location becomes difficult to have. The problem of location becomes difficult to have a ready-made solution. A ready-made solution. Full stop. Industry may have tendencies. Industry may have tendency to get located at the place where labor costs are low. Where labor costs are low. Full stop. But labor and transportation cost should be low for an ideal situation. Should be low for an ideal situation. Full stop. हर जगह लेबर कॉस्ट बहुत कम नहीं रख सकते, ठीक है ना. full stop, whether the labor cost will have an upper hand, whether the labor cost will have an upper hand in the location of industries, in the location of industries will be decided by, will be decided by labor cost index. Can you tell me what is this labor cost index? Can can you tell me the places where the labor cost index is actually high? For example, in countries, in European countries, yes, definitely, where the labor are charging like anything, and therefore the people there see with the how the things are related with the labor cost index being very high, the lifestyle of the people changes. People start doing their own work, even the smallest work on their own, from the cleanliness, from everything, from managing their house, they are doing everything on their own. Otherwise, if they would go and search for the labor, that will cost them too much. But in India, that is not the case. Still, the labor is affordable, right? But in the places, for example, Delhi, etc., and if you go to NCR, some of the corporate areas where actually the labor cost is very high. Why? Because they know the purchasing power उन लोगों का बहुत अच्छा है. They are employed, right? तो वो जो डिमांड करते हैं because they are highly dependent. Dependency भी तुम्हारी bargaining power किसका ज्यादा है? That also we have to check, right? They cannot afford to do the work because all of them, the lifestyle is such, women and men both are working, and then both are running and both are working. Obviously, the bargaining power of the labor becomes more, right? And therefore, the cost rises. Without them, they cannot run their daily course, right? So this is important. Now the next property is right on second, which is agglomerative and deglomerative factors. I hope that you can write the spelling. Agglomerative and deglomerative factors. Is it double N O? Only one N. Factors. Okay. Now agglomerative factors make industries centralize at a particular place. What did I say? What do you mean by agglomeration? इकट्ठा हो जाना. All this, everything is coming together at the central point. ठीक है? So agglomerative factors make industries centralize at a particular place. Write down. Agglomerative factors make industries centralize. Agglomerative factors make industry centralized at a particular place. Full stop. Such factors may include banking and insurance facility, banking and insurance facilities, comma, external economies, full stop. The tendency of centralization, the tendency of centralization is influenced by manufacturing index. The centralization is influenced by manufacturing index, which indicates the proportion of manufacturing cost, which indicates the proportion of manufacturing cost in the total of production. कितना manufacturing cost है in the total of production. ठीक है, full stop. Now write down about deglomerative factors. Deglomerative factors are those which decentralize the location. Deglomerative factors are those which decentralize the location, of industries. Example of such factors are local taxes, cost of land, residence, labor cost. अब तो एक और फैक्टर और ऐड हो जाना चाहिए which is your pollution factor, which is also very big nowadays. Such factors are called decentralized because the cost of production stands reduced. ठीक है. What is the assumption of the theory? Stands reduced. ठीक है. Now what is the assumption of the theory? How you have to assume the theory? What is the assumption of the theory? Tell me. Weber mainly attempted to analyze different cause minimizing factors. Weber mainly attempted to analyze different cause minimizing factors and processes. First, write down the first assumption is the area is typically uniform in the form of terrain. अगर कोई भी आप थ्योरी बना रहे हैं तो उसकी क्या बनाएंगे? Assumptions. कि हम ये इंक्लूड करके चल रहे हैं तब ये थ्योरी अप्लाई होगी, राइट? सो first, according to him, is the area is typically uniform in the form of terrain, relief, climate, soils, terrain, relief, climate, soils, and economic systems. Okay. Second point, manufacturing involves a single product at a time. Third, distribution of labor is fixed. Next, transportation costs are uniform. That's it. Now we'll do its criticism, but before that, you please see if you have any doubt. Yes, good afternoon. Hello, Shreya. Who is Shreya? Shreya, what was her name? Is one more student in my class also, no? Good afternoon, Shreya Pandey. Yes, do you have any doubt? Yes, there is a person with the name of Galaxy Star. Yes. Ask your doubt. Yes, John, you can connect to Plutus IAS if you want to join my geography optional batch. If you are very keen to join, just contact to Plutus IAS. Good afternoon, Davar. Very good afternoon. Okay, next. So write down the criticism. Now write down Weber's industrial location theory. Weber's industrial location theory explains some basic influences. It explains some basic influences on the location of industry, but it has been criticized because but it has been criticized because it has been criticized because of its assumption and changed circumstances changed circumstances related with technology related with technology related with technology and transport system, right? So that means he was changing his theory again and again. और क्यों change कर रहे थे अपनी theory बार बार? Because they also knew that they have to tweak according to the circumstance. टेक्नोलॉजी नया आया तो उसके हिसाब से अपना थ्योरी मोल्ड कर दिया, कुछ और नई चीज आई तो उसके हिसाब से थ्योरी मोल्ड कर दिया. This is not happening. So you cannot change the fundamental of your theory because any other external changes are coming. So what he did, according to critics of this theory, Weber has unrealistically not this is not there. Weber industrial location theory explains some basic influences on the location of industry, but it has been criticized mainly because of its assumption and changed circumstances. अब किस हिसाब से उन्होंने चेंज किया? With what factors? Yes, technology, transport system, right? The first one that you have to write is unrealistic assumption. Unrealistic assumption. According to critics of this theory, according to critics of this theory, according to critics of this theory, Weber has unrealistically oversimplified. He has unrealistically oversimplified the theory of industrial location. Oversimplified the theory of industrial location. According to them, Weber has taken only two elements. Weber has taken only two elements for determining the cost of for determining the cost of transportation, mainly weight and distances. और उस किसी का उन्होंने they do not have and given any reference of any other factor. Do you think apart from this, lot of factors also play an important role apart from the labor and transportation, right? Special conditions needed. For example, okay, deep freeze and in which type you are asking? Fruits, vegetables, yes. So definitely you need a facilities also. Facilities are also equally important, right? Correct, right? So he has not given due place to the type of, write down, he has not given due place to the type of transport, to transport comma quality of goods to be transported. उनके कहने का मतलब ये है that फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप बोल भी रहे हो कि यहाँ पे देयर हैज टू बी माइंस के बाद आपने इंडस्ट्री सेट कर ली, ठीक है, and after the finishing or after the raw materials are being made, now you would need a good transport to be for that, so that the final goods to be taken to the different places. What about that factor? अगर कोई चीज मैंने बना के घर में रख ली and I am not showcasing it or I am not distributing it to the different places, तो क्या फायदा, राइट? तो ये किस केस में हो रहा है आजकल in India? We have the abundant untapped potential of good artistic work in India, regional one, right? And these are some of the things which certain tribes of certain particular culture is promoting. But then हम लोग क्या नहीं कर रहे, हमने उनको ट्रांसपोर्ट ही नहीं करा. ट्रांसपोर्ट का तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हमने उसको क्या नहीं करा है, मार्केटिंग ही नहीं करी है, राइट? सो what is this program? So that now they should be known to the world. What is this one district one program? What they're talking about? Any good program that you have, any good culturally good thing that you are having, you should promote it, right? GI tags, excellent. GI tags की ही बात कर रही हूँ मैं, right? Your geographical indication tags, which should be promoted to the whole world. Now अपने आपने उसकी marketing ही नहीं करी है, right? So how you be able to show to the world that you have something which is more, जो अभी which is more precious and people will start liking it. For example, there is one example of millets also, that people are liking that millets laddu, right? In foreign they are liking that too much. And also the things made from the cow dung, okay, so they are burning and they like it a lot in the foreign, okay. So now what are the factors that he has not included? The type of transport, the quality of goods to be transported, have you written, comma topography and character of regions. Second criticism is labor centers notion defective. Labor center notion defective. What do you mean by labor center notion defective? Defective. What is this labor center notion defective? It means Weber's idea about labor centers have not been accepted. Full stop. He has started with the pre-assumption that he has started with the pre-assumption that there are fixed labor centers. There are fixed labor centers with unlimited supplies, of labor in each of them. Full stop. Obviously, both of these assumptions are not correct. क्यों ये बात सही नहीं है? Why? आपका कोई ऐसा कोई जगह आपको पता है जहाँ पे आपको पता हो कि यहाँ पे लेबर बैठी होगी और यहाँ लेबर सेंटर्स हैं? Can you tell? No. You first generate an idea कि हम ये करने वाले हैं. Then you attract the pool of the people according to that skill. फिर आप उनको डिप्लॉय करते हैं, आप वहां पे उनको क्या करते हो कि नहीं, these are the skills and you require this amount of skill set, और फिर वो स्किल सेट क्या करता है, प्रोडक्शन करता है. जब प्रोडक्शन करते हैं तब वो फिर डिमांड अगर कंटिन्यू रहती है तो आप ज़्यादा हायर करते हैं और जो ऑलरेडी है उनको सस्टेन रखते हैं एंड देन दिस इज हाउ द थिंग्स हैपन। लेकिन क्या ऐसा होता है कि लेबर बैठी हुई है वहाँ पे, लेबर सेंटर्स हैं एंड देन दे आर वेटिंग, दिस इज नॉट, इट डजंट हैपन। सो लेबर्स का जो डिमांड है इट ऑटोमेटिकली ट्यून इन विद द प्रोडक्शन कि आप कितना प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं। हाँ, राइट, देयर इज अ लिमिटेड, अनलिमिटेड सप्लाईज कुछ नहीं होता है, ठीक है। सो हाँ, अनलिमिटेड सप्लाईज ऑफ लेबर कहाँ आ रहा है? अगर ऐसा होता तो क्या होता, लेबर का जो कॉस्ट है वो हमेशा कम रहता है वेस्टर्न नेशंस में, स्पेशली जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। सो राइट डाउन, both these assumptions are not correct, full stop. There cannot be fixed labor centers, there cannot be fixed labor centers because each industry creates new labor centers. Please underline this term. Each industry creates new labor centers, full stop. Similarly there can never be unlimited supplies of labors in any center. हाँ, सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज में, लेकिन हमें वही, अभी सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री वेरी गुड एग्जांपल फॉर इंडिया, दैट हैज नॉट बूम्ड। और अभी सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री जब बूम ही नहीं हुआ है, दैट मीन्स कि हमने अट्रैक्ट भी नहीं किया है। आई नो दैट इन सिलिकॉन वैली, which you call it as Bangalore, we must be having lot of हाँ, फैब्रिकेशन यूनिट नहीं, जैसे चाइना में है, चाइना में इज अ गुड मार्केट और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हैपनिंग ऑफ सेमीकंडक्टर्स, दैट्स व्हाई दे वी आल्सो वांटेड टू जॉइन हैंड्स विद यूएसए। जो बाइडेन का जब प्रेसिडेंसी था, देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस, टॉक्ड अबाउट इमर्जिंग क्रिटिकल टेक्नोलॉजी एंड देन वी वर एप्रीहेंसिव इन द ट्रम्प्स प्रेसिडेंसी, क्या ये कंटिन्यू होगा, राइट? एंड देन वी वांटेड टू think of it क्योंकि Joe Biden has promised that we will be exchanging the technologies for semiconductors, critical emerging technologies, which is, it was a part of it, critical emerging technologies में semiconductors भी था। So we discussed about that thing, but वहां पे अगर अब ट्रम्प आ गए तो we do not know whether the same thing will happen because उनका टाइम अलग है, अभी का टाइम अलग है, इज वेरी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल ऑल्सो। सो इवन इंडिया वांट्स दैट नेक्स्ट कंट्री हु इज वेरी गुड एट इट इज चाइना। इवन यूएस इज ऑल्सो वेरी एप्रीहेंसिव ऑफ चाइना semiconductor units. They make fabulous semiconductor units. Do you know that chips of semiconductor units of China are banned in USA? Right? They're completely banned. तो क्या करते हैं वो लोग? Yes. तो क्या करते हैं वो लोग? China भी बहुत, Chinese people are also very cunning. So what they do, they transport it to Southeast Asian country, and then from there transport it to yes US. So ये सब चीजें वो उन्होंने भी ऐसे कर रखा है, ठीक है। बट नाउ यूएसए सेड कि अब हम क्या चेक करेंगे, वी विल सी द ओरिजिन कहाँ से है इसका, मतलब लिखा होता है ना उसके अंदर मेड इन सम, हाँ, कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन। बट द पॉइंट इज नाउ व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग द टेक्नोलॉजी टू द बेसिस, किसको? फिलीपींस को, साउथ ईस्ट एशियन कंट्री को, वियतनाम, वहां पे सेटअप करते हैं और वहां से फिर यूएसए प्रोक्योर। बट अल्टीमेटली फायदा किसका है? चाइनीज का फायदा। Yes, they want to fabricate chips in their own country. They do not want to depend. तभी तो वो उन्होंने बोला, one of the agenda of his manifesto was also this, that I want to totally disrupt the supply chain of China. I don't want to get dependent on any China, any supply chain of it. ठीक है? Now, third is ideas about fixed point of consumption. Ideas about fixed point of consumption. It argued that Weber's idea did not work well. It argued that Weber's idea did not work well with the market conditions in the competitive world. First off, consumers always scattered all over the country. Consumers always scattered all over the country, and thus consumer centers always shift, and thus consumer centers always shift with a shift in industrial population. Full stop. Therefore, there cannot be a fixed point of consumption. Therefore, there cannot be a fixed point of consumption. So what he talked about? He talked about whether this idea does not work well with the market condition in the competitive world. Consumers are always scattered, right? All over the country, and thus consumer center आज के time में तो ये और ज़्यादा apply नहीं हो सकता. Why? Earlier we used to have rapid movement of the people, and also now we are having a e-commerce. How can we say the demand is coming only from the place where it is very, very near? The demand can come to 1,000 miles away, near having a manufacturing sector here and miles away from there, right? Because he assumed in the time of 19, then he did not assume that. पर वो हाँ, बट इतना ज्यादा शिफ्टिंग नहीं होता था. अभी क्या है, आपको पता है माइग्रेशन का कितना ज्यादा फ्रीक्वेंसी है? अर्लियर हमारे टाइम में, मतलब हमारे पेरेंट्स के टाइम, उनसे भी पहले के जो पेरेंट्स थे, मतलब हमारे ग्रैंडफादर, दे यूज्ड टू स्टे इन अ प्लेस, दे वर सो रूटेड एट अ प्लेस. इवन forget about the place, they were so rooted with their district also. ठीक है, even हाँ 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 हाँ, right right, so they are so rooted, but now people are so quick. शिफ्ट करना उनके लिए बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है. They're like, okay, we are ready to move, no problem. So they are not attached. Although if they are attached, they are more keen towards what is there ahead for our future if we shift. So that is what. So interest lies having a bigger edge than being rooted to a place. Okay? Hmm. हाँ, दिस विल बी द ऑलवेज केस. एंड ऑल्सो शायद उस टाइम पे ये चीज नहीं थी कि उनको लगता था इंडस्ट्रीज अगर यहाँ पे तो यहीं पे ही रह जाएंगी. ठीक है, उनका प्रोलिफरेशन नहीं होगा, या फिर एक बार सेटअप हो गया और इतना बड़ा इंडस्ट्री बन गया तो यहीं रह जाएगा. पर डाइवर्सिफाई भी कर सकता है इंडस्ट्री, उनको शायद इतना नहीं लगा उस टाइम में. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट आपका ही जो आप अभी पॉइंट बोल रहे थे पीयूष, विच इज वेग जनरलाइजेशन. बिल्कुल नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है इसका, वेग जनरलाइजेशन. He has given no due importance. He has given no due importance to non-economic factors, to non-economic factors of industrial location. He has not given any importance. Okay, Dhruv is asking, ma'am, have you got my answers? No, Dhruv, I have not got your answers. You can send it to admin. Admin will send it to me. Okay, I'll ask admin also. Have you sent it to admin? Huh? Have you sent it to admin? I remind them. Yes, yes. Okay, no problem. Okay. So next point which I was discussing was vague generalization. Vague generalization includes why. Where was I? He has given no due importance to non-economic factors of industrial location, which play a bigger role. And what is this non-economic factors? Socio-political factors. Very good. Yes, अभी के लिए, लेकिन उस टाइम तो क्लाइमेट का वो क्लाइमेट का तो कोई इश्यू ही नहीं था तब, वो तो अभी आप उनको रियून कर रहे थे। हम्म। हाँ, he doesn't recognize climate changes. 25, हाँ, तो 2015 में he was out of the Paris Agreement, and after that अभी भी yesterday's statement, few days back statement was this uh, something related to, he said the climate agreements and people who are involved in it are the con jobs. That is what he said. Okay. हाँ, यूएन में उन्होंने कुछ बोला था, तो उसने ये भी चीज बोली थी रिसेंटली. Nobody knows what he's doing. He said this also because he went where he went in a new UN for that representation. The accelerator stopped working. Okay, accelerator stopped working, and the teleprompter, that his teleprompter was also not working. So starting उन्होंने वहाँ से करी that the first lady is very fit and we were stuck on the accelerator, and because I am so fit and my first lady is very fit, therefore we are able to get through that situation, but I'll not leave the one who is having a job of teleprompter. उसके बाद उन्होंने स्पीच स्टार्ट करी. So that's what, he never misses a chance to boast about himself. Okay, next is, he has given no due place to non-economic factors of industrial location. Have you seen a speech of Shashi Tharoor against Trump? Like few months back, 1 month back, I guess, or 2 months back. Not speech, actually, he was commenting. The earlier presidents were used to be a man of substance. Like he has also met all the people, no? George W. Bush, Barack Obama. You need to have some kind of substance. But the way he has said all those things are very interesting. If you get time, huh? He is a great speaker. Only when you can have a dictionary around you. He has skills. Okay. Now, he should have. That's why even the opposition has sent him recently as a representative. Do you know that? He was sent to America. Abhi he was sent. Opposition ने ही उनको भेजा था that you should go and represent, despite of having so many people. He is actually, and also he had done that, no? Some debate, very famous debate of him is there. Yes, Oxford, where he's talking about the Kohinoor and all that, the British colonial period. Excellent. And apart from the different, yes, yes. हाँ, कौन सी book है बहुत famous? हाँ, he's a very, era of darkness. Okay, and also he claims himself to be very liberal. Yes, he is to some extent. Okay, now write down. Defective method of analysis, that is the next point. Defective method of analysis, that is the next point. उनको क्या लगा सिर्फ मटेरियल एक ही जगह से आ रहा है, रॉ मटेरियल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई हैव अ सेंटर देयर, कंसीडर अ फैक्ट. ठीक है, इंडिया का एग्जाम्पल इसलिए ले रही हूँ बिकॉज मेनी पीपल कैन रिलेट. इफ आई एम इन महाराष्ट्र and I am in Madhya Pradesh, for example, and I set up an industry here. I'm not setting up the industry in Maharashtra, and though I know that these are the great producers, Surat or maybe this Gujarat is a great producer of cotton, right? And also Madhya Pradesh also doing fairly well, and then Karnataka, right? So do you think that if I have to procure this from here and here and here, I try to strategically place my location in such a way that lies at the center, it average out. For example, if some distance is very far away, then these are two are very, very close. For example, just taking an example right now, the two are very, very close. This will be very close and this will be very close if this gets too far, right? So I average out the thing and then I'm setting the industry. So that procurement of the things can happen from a various places. Okay, if talking about raw material, this is not necessary that I have to set up here only. लेकिन कुछ केसेस में है जिसमें माइंड्स में है, बिकॉज द लोड इज वेरी वेरी हैवी, राइट। और जब कॉस्ट इतनी हैवी है, उसको लेकर जाना दूर तक एंड देन उसको प्रोड्यूस करना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, right? According to Robinson, this was a critic who has criticized actually Weber. It was Robinson. According to Robinson, who does not know that, who does not know that in actual practice, materials are drawn from materials are drawn from many alternative fixed points. Fixed point. Many alternative fixed point. Next, overburdened with technical consideration. Overburdened with technical consideration. This is the last point of this. Theory is heavily overburdened with due stress on cost and prices. Full stop. The most important criticism about his analysis is that the cost and the prices that the cost and prices are not the only factor for are not the only factor for determination are not the only factor of determination. Now in the conclusion, you can just see, you don't have to write, that is your choice. So just conclusions, listen. No doubt theory suffers from serious defects, yet it cannot be denied that it has its own value. This is how you will write the conclusion, right? Despite of having the criticism, you will try to say that it had given some inputs, right? It is primarily because the alternatives given are neither comprehensive nor complete. So far, it is only theory which is capable of universal application. Every change of industrial location involves a change in the combination of means of production. But this theory obviously does not provide any guidelines for locating a new industry. एक बारी में आप इसको प्रेस कर रहे हैं, एक बारी में क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं, एंड मेकिंग अ बैलेंस. दैट इज व्हाट आई कॉल्ड अ गुड कंक्लूजन. जब आप बैलेंस बनाए, ठीक है. You want to write the conclusion? You want to prepare it? Because अगर आएगा तो बहुत स्टैटिक है और यही लिखना होगा. लिख लीजिए, ज़्यादा बेटर रहेगा. Conclusion लिखिए. No doubt, theory suffers from serious defects. No doubt, theory suffers from serious defects, comma, yet it cannot be denied that it has its own value. It cannot be denied that it has its own value, comma, importance and significance. Importance and significance. Full stop. It has primarily because it is primarily because the alternative givens. It is primarily because the alternatives given are neither comprehensive nor complete. Nor complete. Full stop. So far, it is the only theory. It is the only theory which is capable of universal application. Which is capable of universal application. Every change of industrial location, every change of industrial location, Every change of industrial location a change in involves a change in the combination of means of production, combination of means of production, full stop. But this theory definitely do not provide, but this theory definitely do not provide any guidelines for locating a new industry, for locating a new industry. ठीक है? ठीक है? So I think net you have been able to understand everything, right? No, not really. एक है diagram, but I don't want you to draw. There is a triangle diagram where this is there, but there's no need. One of my student was drawing something, and once I told him that you have to draw the diagram has you have to selectively draw. तो क्या होगा, उससे टाइम बचेगा, ठीक है ना? द इफ द टाइम विल बी सेव, तो क्या होगा उससे कि हर क्वेश्चन में अगर डायग्राम बनाएंगे तो क्या होगा, टाइम सेव नहीं हो पाएगा एंड यू विल गेट इन्वॉल्व एंड स्टक इन दैट. Some of the students are taking time writing 2-3 answers and taking a lot of time. So I told them, and I asked them that how much time you actually took to write the answer. They said, ma'am, for the 3 questions I took around only 1.5 hours. I told them, look, the situation in means is very different. Only 7 to 8 minutes. If they would have said like half an hour, then also it would have been fine. कि नया stage है. But half an hour for one question, no, not required. नहीं हो पाएगा फिर तो. You have to speed up. ठीक है? All right. So, shall I give you the question P by Q, right? If we have of Weber, I'll find it from here only. No, all भी है. We have this also. हाँ हाँ. No, there's one. Prox. But he is not talking about geographical space much. So before going to the exam, you have done all these theories by yourself? हाँ, कुछ किया होगा आपने जो प्रीवियस ईयर से रिलेटेड होगा. हाँ, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग थ्योरी है. इस आई even I have too much. Too much. So much so that if that one of batch I'm taking out of passion in one. Okay, so your first preference is IFS. Okay, that's great. Which area? I mean, Western nations. Middle East is good. Very close also. हाँ, people आएंगे definitely. Correct. Middle East में especially which country? Any? Iran? You want to go to Iran? Don't go. हाँ. Yes. But see, थोड़ा toppling है वहाँ पे, ऐसा है. But see, if अच्छा, you want to take, अच्छा, you must have seen airlift. Airlift पे भी he was. I'm just comparing, na. Kuwait is not that far away from Iran only. Hmm? So, the situation जो कुवैत में थी, ईरान में थी, you never know. The point is, लेकिन वो वैसे भेजते नहीं है. What they do is, जो safest city होता है, वहाँ पे फिर आपको रखते हैं. नहीं, रिलेशनशिप तो सबके साथ अच्छा रहता है, बट पॉइंट है जब वो न्यूक्लियर बेसिस पे अटैक कर रहे होते हैं, तो देन देयर इज नो रिलेशन. नहीं, अब यूएस ने ईरान के साथ अच्छा रिलेशन है इंडिया का, नो प्रॉब्लम. डिप्लोमेट आपका है, एंड देन यू हैव दिस आल्सो, ना, योर वेना कन्वेंशन 1960 डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशन, वेना डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस 1963 is also there. But the point is, the when you are trying to dismantle the bases, तब वो बॉम्ब कहाँ पे गिरेगा, you never know, you cannot predict. ठीक है. They will. They are मतलब उनको, हाँ, मतलब उन्होंने क्या किया है, मतलब नीचे अंडरग्राउंड उनको बनाना है. हाँ, दे हैव माउंटेन एंड 90% एनरिचमेंट करके बैठे हैं वो लोग. कितनी वार्निंग्स दे दी, कितना सैंक्शन दे दिया. सैंक्शन आज से लग रहा है, कितने सालों से उनके सैंक्शंस लग रहे हैं. हाँ, हाँ. सैंक्शंस है, बट उनको तो बिल्कुल भी दे आर नॉट पेइंग एनी हीड टू दैट. उनको चाइना इज देयर ना. अच्छा, अदरवाइज आल्सो देयर इज इट. अच्छा, okay, very resilient. What is the trade, one trade that you want to pick from Iran people, Persians? They pride for their culture. Okay. But don't you think that they should do certain things in life which actually people want to become like them? Like making bombs, and then it will kind of create a negativity. People just get terrorized. Hmm. But I think they have as a deterrence, right? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I thought they have one for deterrence, and now they're trying to see. That's why they have not signed the NPT also. The point is that because they are very passionate and they will proliferate. So I thought they must be having for deterrence, and next they are doing is overdoing the thing. Hmm. Okay. हाँ, in that case तो उनका हक बनता है फिर. हमारे पे भी सैंक्शंस लगे थे 1974 के बाद, जब हमने पोखरान में टेस्ट किया था. हाँ, पाकिस्तान को सपोर्टेड. यस, यस, करेक्ट. हाँ, जियोपॉलिटिक्स इज वेरी डिफरेंट. वन डे यू आर अ फ्रेंड, अनदर डे यू आर अ एनिमी. एवरीथिंग डिपेंड्स अपॉन इंटरेस्ट. हाँ, वेरी डायनेमिक दैट. तभी तो इसमें इंटरेस्ट है, बिकॉज आज अगर जो रिलेशंस है उस पर्सपेक्टिव से आप कल रिलेशंस नहीं पढ़ेंगे. कल तक चाइना वाज नॉट, वी वर नॉट गुड फ्रेंड्स. नाउ चाइना इज गुड फ्रेंड ऑफ इंडिया. So यही तो जियोपॉलिटिक्स, एंड दैट इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट. They are one of the people that you cannot trust, and even India knows that. The point is that they are also finding their interest. They are also finding their interest. जब तक चल रहा है. Yes. हाँ, जैसे रिलेशन इंटरेस्ट है, तो पीपल वर सेइंग कि once I just started this IR के thing, तो आपने कभी, मैंने कहा नहीं, I have a good very good this thing, passion about this. I keep on reading about that also, कि अगर मुझे नहीं भी पढ़ाना तब भी I will read. So they were like कि मैम वो क्यों होता है. मैंने कहा what is this, क्यों बनाते हैं रिलेशन. they said कि नहीं मैम, अच्छा लगता है उन लोगों को बनाना. मैंने कहा nobody does that. जिनका आईआर का बैकग्राउंड नहीं, they think like that, कि थोड़ा अच्छा रिलेशन रहे. It's all about, yeah, Chinese are very visionary. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Hmm. Oh. And do you know now also they apply the strategy of Mao. They are applying it. There's so much. There's a book called State of War, right? They are not vocal. Exactly. If you read that book, State of War, whatever is written there, one is that, and Mao, all Mao strategy. they are doing exactly, obviously they are not vocal that we are still following the principles, that but they are doing all of that. Hmm. 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 But who is promoting? Do you think? Do you know that Iran was supported directly by China only? They're good friends, right? And they want to even see how the USA is doing the things in Indo-Pacific region. Similarly, they are doing in. Yes, we call it as a counterbalancing act, right? Everywhere, putting somebody who is taking care of your thing, your interest. Okay. Now coming back to uh, this thing. No, I have decreased it. अच्छा increase कर. अच्छा, okay. There was a question in 1992. Write down. Discuss the theories of. Discuss the theories of. Discuss the theories of industrial location propounded by Weber. 1992. A question और लिखिए because I'll be starting with the growth polls also. Write down. Write a short note on growth poll. 2004. Poll. POLE. Growth poll. Next is discuss the Weber's theory of industrial location. Discuss the Weber's theory of industrial location and assess its relevance in the assess its element in the present day complex. In the relevance in the present day context. Why I was discussing all that? Because आज के जमाने में you have to think कि वेबर का थ्योरी अप्लाई होगा या नहीं होगा. That's what we were discussing. Semiconductors and also the e-commerce marketplace rising so much that you cannot assume that where your consumer base can be, right? So that keep on changing on the basis of their demands. Yes, green energy, etc. Your okay, your demand will also change according to the consumption pattern. For example, if your people are moving from more to organic products, so similarly आपका जो डिमांड जो पहले बाकी प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए था वो एकदम से डिक्लाइन हो जाएगा, फिर मार्केट क्या होगी, वैनिश हो जाएगी वहां से, फिर एक न्यू डेवलपमेंट होगा डिमांड का और फिर उस तरह से प्रोडक्ट्स आपके डिलीवर होंगे. These are 2-3 questions which are based on this. आई थिंक वेबर पे सिर्फ 3 क्वेश्चंस आए हैं. फ्रीक्वेंसी उनका जो रेपिटेशन है वो इतना ही है. आई ट्राई टू फाइंड इट आउट इफ अदर क्वेश्चंस आर देयर ऑन इट. नहीं, दैट्स ऑल. ओके, डू वन क्वेश्चन, डिसाइड विच वन यू वांट टू डू. ग्रोथ पोल छोड़ दीजिए, विच इज आई हैव नॉट डिस्कस्ड येट. ठीक है, बाकी करिए आप. Your time starts at 5:43. Now you decide 8 minutes. Online students, are you also writing? Make sure you write within 8 minutes. ठंडा Okay, time's up. Done writing, everybody please stop writing. क्या कहाँ तक लिखा है आप लोगों ने? पूरा कंक्लूजन लिखा है. फर्स्ट टेल मी. हाँ नहीं, वो नहीं लिखना, एक्सप्लेनेशन का टाइम नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं. अच्छा, मेन पहले आप मुझे बताइए क्या क्या लिखना है. हैव यू डन इंट्रो? ओके, डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द थ्योरी. देन यू हैव टू डू द क्रिटिसिज्म. You have to define factors, transport, and the labor cost definitely. Then you have to include the scholars. Have you included the scholars like Robinson, right, who have criticized it, right? And then criticism with 4-5 points, and then the conclusion. आप क्या, are you able to do that in this much of time? You were, you, why? अच्छा, it's failing because of that. No problem. Otherwise तो वैसे तो नहीं है ना, लेकिन कंक्लूजन तक जाना है, तक जाना है, ठीक है ना, वो चीज है. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम मेकिंग यू प्रैक्टिस नाउ एवरी डे. व्हाट अबाउट ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स? राहुल, ध्रुव, Suraj, everyone, please let me know. A little bit left. Dhruv is saying, what about Rahul? Other people, please respond. Conclusion. ठीक है. Okay. Now I'm just giving you a very short description of the topic we will be doing on in the next class only, but I'm just discussing a bit about it, which is your uh, rimland theory. What is this rimland theory? You know something about Mackinder? Who was Mackinder? Who was Mackinder? Philosopher. What he has given many rimland theories, many theories about the places, right? So what is this rimland theory? What he considers? He considers that it is very important. क्या important है उनके लिए? This Asia, Central Asia is always discussed about that. That this is very important. क्यों? Because one who rules it rules the world, right? शायद हमने इसके बारे में पहले डिस्कस किया है. कहाँ पे डिस्कस किया मैकेंडर का? Some description was there ना? ऐसी कोर्स में ही किया है, I guess. क्या था पार्ट, क्या था कोर्स का? In which class I have done this? हाँ, हार्टलैंड थ्योरी. ओके. किस में किया था मतलब? हाँ, या geographical thought. Yes, I remember. Geographical thought when we were doing the modern theorist. Okay. Yeah. So what he says, tell me Tanishka, all the students बताओ अब. Now they've given me the hint that you know. बताइए. What he said? Hmm. Why he said that it's the heartland? It's according to where it lies in the center of both the oceans, from where the accessibility is equivalent. And from where you have the accessibility. So according to him, isn't like that if something is not surrounded by the coast, that means that cannot be invaded. Do you think that how much cost the America has to bear? There is a cons also of being a very having coast on all the sides, right? For example, this is India, where you have to protect your whole coastline, right? You have to put the good what manpower, you have to put the securities, right? Navy surveillance to be deployed here. Why? Because you know the whole coastline. What about America? Even America is like that, right? In America, maybe क्या है आपका? What is the situation? Yes, your whole coast is having what? You're having the good navy power. They need too much of the navy power because they know that it can be attacked, or people can come in from any place, right? So isn't this one more vulnerable? What do you think? क्या ये more vulnerable है? Do you know that how much they are having the best of the best armies, right? They are having all types of best, like the air, navy, land, um, everything is well maintained, right? But what about other countries? Do they have to? No, because थोड़ा सा दूर है. कहाँ से? Ocean से. ठीक है. So one is this. And also, can you tell me how much allocation is happening here? Like how much they have allocated in terms of budget and everything? What should be the difference between what they are allocating in the budget of armies, etc. here versus allocated by other countries? कितना मोर? 900? बहुत ज्यादा है. ठीक है, बहुत ही ज्यादा है. यही नहीं, ये और किसी का भी कर रहे हैं. किसका कर रहे हैं? They are the naval bases of them present in Indo-Pacific also, and also there in your near the European countries also, right? For NATO. And that बीच में बात भी हुई थी कि they said that you can remove them. but no, they have strategically put it there in the middle in Japan to counterbalance the China, right? So ये जो rimland theory है, हार्टलैंड ये जो थ्योरी है आपकी, इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। पहले आप ये समझिए कि किस तरह से चीजें प्लेस्ड हैं, ठीक है, फिर हम थ्योरी पे आएंगे। डायरेक्टली कमिंग टू द थ्योरी इज नो पॉइंट अनलेस यू अंडरस्टैंड द होल लोकेशन, ठीक है, किस तरह से लोकेशन है उनका। अब पूरा एरिया आपका वहां तक, ऑल्दो इट इज फ्रोजन, ये पार्ट पूरा फ्रोजन है, पर हम इसको लाइटली नहीं ले सकते, स्पेशली ऑफ दिस रीजन अलास्का, ठीक है। दे आर हैविंग, दे आर वेरी हाईली मिनरल रिच प्लेस, gold is there, highly mineral rich, your shale gas, minerals, everything is present here, right? So this has to be protected like anything, and that's why they are putting so much of cost budget is there to protect the whole place, right? If I talk about other places, for example, India also has to do the same, but not as much because the coastline is also very big. You have to also consider the area, the kind of the area that they have to put in a lot of that. तो जब हम स्ट्रेटेजिकली बात करते हैं इस थ्योरी की, so we have to consider not only one factor, different factors to be considered, and then we will analyze that why he said so, ऐसा उन्होंने क्यों कहा, ठीक है, why he said about the heartland, why he said about the this thing that one who rules this rules the world। हाँ, पूरा हम पढ़ेंगे, वी विल स्टडी कि क्या उन्होंने बोला, क्या उनका स्टेटमेंट था, कि उन्होंने किस कोनोटेशन में बोला, क्योंकि कोनोटेशन इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट। टेक्स्ट का क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट है ये पता होना चाहिए, राइट? टेक्स्ट विदाउट कॉन्टेक्स्ट इज नॉट मीनिंगफुल, ठीक है। दैट्स इट, आई वाज जस्ट टेलिंग यू अबाउट दिस। ओके, ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, आई थिंक दे आर हैविंग सम डाउट्स। Okay, so mainly we have done the Weber only. Okay, next time we will do and we will have the discussion of this. We have just lightly discussed. Next class we will do in detail. Okay, please by the time you have Saturdays and Sundays, please complete all the pending answers, okay, related to this and submit them so that I can check. Do it in a non-ruled sheet, plain paper, just like you practice in UPSC. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss.